Nah, I'm playing. I can't keep that up. I can't keep that up. Maybe. If y'all like that, maybe I'll try for y'all. But welcome back to day 14 of my 31 days of reviews featuring Terminator 1. Now, I know you're saying, Terminator, girl, that came out in like 1984. What you talking about it? I ain't never seen it before, so we gonna talk about it. It was my first viewing. Okay, I'm a fan of the second one. Sue me. But let's get into it. As always, this is going to be spoiled because it came out in 1984, and if you haven't seen it yet, I don't know what to tell you. Please go see it. But I digress. So, as you know, Terminator stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, and it's about a cyborg coming from the future to the past. So he's going to the past to kill the mother of a rebellion leader, John Connor, before he is born. Now, as a fan of the second one, I wasn't sure about the first one because I was like, what am I getting myself in? But I was happily surprised. This is a great film. Of course, it has its moments because it was made in 1984, which means that it was probably made in like between 82 and 83 or something like that. You know what I mean? Graphics wasn't ridiculously amazing, but what they did on this film with like practical effects and like practical makeup and things like that, top. Now the guy that played Kyle Reese, I believe his name is pronounced Michael Ben. I think it's Bean. That was wild. He did a very good job. As like one of my co-hosts said, you didn't know if he was evil at first, if he was a bad, or if he was a good guy, the way he popped up. And he was a little rough around the edges, which makes sense because he grew up in a dystopian, apocalyptic world. He's never seen our world where, the machines weren't turning against him. Knowing what happens in T2 and watching, I'm just going to call it T1, knowing what happens in T2 and watching T1, it's interesting to see where the Sarah Connor character kind of like starts and where she goes, right? We know that in T2 she's this badass, but when you go to T1, she's just your regular schmegular old girl, works at a restaurant, it's a little clumsy, don't know her ass from her front. I don't know what I was trying. Forgive me. It's been a day. But it was cool seeing like her beginnings, where she starts. You see little moments in there where she is a little bit clever, where she kind of thinks, where she kind of, you could see her strength develop throughout the film. And I think that's cool because when you get to T2, you see how strong she's become in the interim that we didn't get to see her like train John and things like that. Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator, he ain't changed. He don't say no words. He barely say words. He beat up people. He shoot things, and he just walks and comes to kill you. It's like an advanced Michael, But he did an amazing job. The effects and things that they had on him, he worked really well. He was very much, stiff and stoic, kind of like a robot. And it's also, if you really think about it, it's pretty cool seeing his development from T1 to T2 because it's the same robot. I think it's the same robot. Ray, let me know. He the same robot. He the same robot. Yeah, we talked about it. He the same robot. Overall, the Terminator, because that's what the film is named, the Terminator, or T1, is a nice ride. They don't skimp on the blowing ups. They don't skimp on the shootings and the guns, and they don't skimp on the blood and the stuff, all that type of stuff. But at the heart of any film, when it comes to like shoot 'em up, bang bangs, anything you want to talk about, any of that stuff you want to talk about, is the story. The story is what matters. And the story of Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor, where I'm from, New York, when we're talking about it. The story of Sarah Connor going from kind of just head in the clouds, like life is fun, no frills, kind of meek, going from that to gunned up, muscled up, I'll shoot anybody, choke you up, Sarah Connor we can see in T2. This experience is great just to see that transition from the character. But the story of how she becomes that in the first one, how she, is put through this like life and death situation, meets this man and has his child. Spoiler alert. It's a good story. Strip away all the like apocalypse stuff. It's still a nice good story. And I think that's the heart of T1. But then, you know, if you don't want no heart, you can get it blown out by, like, you know, the Terminator, even Kyle Reese, because he was killing people, shooting people and stuff like that. Go check out the Terminator if you haven't, because for the longest time I hadn't seen it. I would watch bits and pieces from like TNT or TBS, but you know, it didn't have my boy Edward Furlong in it. So my young mind was like, this, I don't need this. It's currently on Max right now. That's where I watched it if you want to check it out. And comment below your favorite scenes of T1. And if you want me to talk about T2, I can do that as well. As always, follow your girl on all social media. Help me out with that. Share, like, you know, put me in somebody's inbox so they could just watch my video. And if you come across this video, just hit the heart. Appreciate you. Bye.